It's a little bit different than why you would want to work with a company or a professional instead of somebody in your family that you trust and isn't going to charge a fee. It's, I think, the biggest reason why you would want to hire a professional trustee to manage your trust after you're gone and out of the picture. The relationships are going to change in your family once you pass away or are out of the picture. And by naming somebody you trust as trustee, you're going to probably impair their relationships with everybody else in the family because they have decision-making power, they have control. Usually they also have a benefit too, so there's going to be some bias. So yeah, you're going to definitely change the interfamily dynamics. I think you can just look back in history and realize that when there's somebody who has power and control and they pass away and there's a bunch of people, things change. When you start to see these situations play out, there's a really compelling argument for why you would want to hire a professional trustee, or taking the risk of impairing your family's relationships because nobody told you that you shouldn't appoint your most trusted family member as trustee, right? They're going to handle everything, but sometimes it isn't even them, it's everybody else feeling differently about them once you're gone and they have the power, and they sometimes might not even be at fault. Sometimes an individual who's trustee is also going to be a beneficiary of the trustee, like they have a benefit, and that creates a conflict of interest or a bias, right? So if I'm trustee and my brother isn't trustee, but he's a beneficiary and he needs money for something, am I going to want to give him that money? Because that means there's going to be less money for me at the end of the day. So it creates a conflict inherently, and it's just something that exists. Another thing that an individual trustee isn't going to have is expertise on the legal matters, tax matters, investment matters. Are they going to pick this up? Do they already have it? But yeah, that's something that a professional trustee is going to be well versed in. And I think the last thing is the availability of an individual trustee. So you could get sick, you could be on vacation, or you could just have other things in your life that are more important to you than serving as trustee, and that creates some time constraints. So all of those can play into creating an environment where the individual trustee isn't best suited to serve as trustee. But it's emotionally draining too, because as trustee, your job isn't to say yes to everybody. Sometimes you have to say no, right? So that's what makes a professional trustee a great solution, is you have this middleman who's unbiased, who is okay with saying no because they don't have these interfamily dynamics. I think we would all love for our clients to realize that everything went smoothly, but oftentimes it's the benefit is the absence of realizing that something happened, right? So you don't really know. It's kind of like a fish in water. So if you have an individual trustee and somebody passes away and then there's all this fighting and everybody hates it, that situation is going to be different than when a corporate trustee is hired and everything goes a lot more smoothly. They're not going to even be thinking about fighting, right? Nobody thinks that your family is going to fight. Our family is going to be different, right? Everybody's going to be the exception. So I don't think our clients realize or appreciate that things go smoothly because they've anticipated it to go smoothly. An individual trustee is going to be personally liable. So if you consider all the factors involved, right, where there's the lack of expertise, potentially a lack of availability or concern for other people's interests in the trust, you have potential for bias or conflict of interest, and family dynamics change. People like to be litigious in that kind of environment, and when somebody's personally liable, even if they're not doing anything wrong, they might get sued by a family member, right? Personally sued, versus a corporate or professional trustee who has the insurance and the legal staff to handle that kind of thing. I think at the end of the day, the biggest reason, like if I were gonna create a trust and have it go to my family members, is I don't want to cause undue stress or effort or impair my family dynamics, right? So the decision to hire a professional trustee isn't something where I'm thinking about, oh, it's going to be a little bit more expensive because they're going to charge a fee, and I trust my son or my daughter or whoever. I'm making that decision to hire unbiased third-party professional because I care about my family. And I think that that is really the call to action, is if you care about your family, you want them to all love and support and be friendly with each other and have things go smoothly after you pass away, then I would definitely hire a professional trustee, because if you don't, it's likely that your family dynamics are going to change.